If your home has been on the market longer than you expected, or you're thinking about selling and worried about that happening, you're definitely not alone right now. This is probably one of the most common conversations I've been having with sellers lately, and usually it starts the same way. Someone says, "My home has been on the market for a few weeks. What am I doing wrong?" And the first thing I always tell them is this: just because a home is sitting doesn't automatically mean something is wrong, but it does mean something needs to be understood. Because a lot of what people are feeling right now is based on what they saw over the past few years. Homes were selling very quickly, sometimes within days, sometimes with multiple offers right away. And when that becomes your reference point, anything slower than that starts to feel like a problem. I had a seller recently who told me, "My neighbor sold in 4 days last year. I don't understand why mine hasn't." And it makes sense to think that way, but that was a different market. Today we're in a market where buyers have more options, and when buyers have more options, they behave differently. They don't feel pressure. They don't feel like they need to make a decision immediately. They take their time. They compare. I've been in showings where buyers walk through a home, they like it, everything checks out, and they still say, "Let's keep looking for a few more days." That one sentence alone explains a lot of what's happening right now. It's not rejection, it's just a different pace of decision making. And that shift in behavior is one of the biggest reasons why homes are sitting longer. Another major factor is pricing, and that's where things can get a little bit more sensitive. Pricing's not just a number, it's emotional. A lot of sellers base their price on what they saw someone else get or what they feel like their home is worth. And those are understandable ways to think about it. But buyers are looking at the market differently. They're looking at current value, not past value. I had a situation recently where a home came on the market slightly above where the buyers felt comfortable. It wasn't dramatically overpriced, just a little off. And what happened was interesting. Buyers would come see it, they liked it, but they didn't move forward. After a few weeks, we adjusted the price, and almost immediately, activity picked up. More showings, more interest, stronger conversations. Same home, same condition, just different positioning. And that's something I see over and over again. It's not always the property, it's how it's being perceived in the market. Another piece of this is comparison, and this has become much stronger now than it was before. Buyers are not just looking at the home in isolation, they're looking at your home compared to several others at the same time. I've had buyers pull up listings on their phone while standing inside a property and say, "Okay, how does this compare to the one we saw earlier?" Small differences start to matter more. Conditions, updates, layout, even the lighting and how the home is presented. And that includes photos, because the first showing today is actually online. If the photos don't create a strong first impression, buyers may not even come see the house in person. And then there's timing. This is something that doesn't get talked about enough. The first couple weeks on the market are still the most important. That's when listings get attention. That's when the buyers see it for the first time. And I've seen situations where a home came on the market slightly overpriced or not fully prepared, and it missed that initial window of momentum. Then later, adjustments were made, price was improved, presentation was better, but it took time to rebuild that attention. Because once a home sits for a while, buyers start asking questions. They start wondering, why hasn't this home sold yet? Even if the answer is simple, even if there's nothing actually wrong, perception starts to form. So when you put all this together, more inventory, more buyer choice, more comparison, more cautious decision making, it starts to make sense why homes are sitting longer. And again, I want to be very clear about something. Homes are still selling. That hasn't changed. But when they're selling, everything lines up. Price, condition, presentation, and expectation. When those are aligned, homes still move, sometimes very well. But when one of those pieces is slightly off, it can slow the process down. So if you're thinking about selling, or your home is already on the market, the focus shouldn't be, why isn't this house selling? The focus should be, what might be slightly out of alignment? Because usually it's not something major. It's one or two small adjustments that can make a big difference. And once alignment happens, that's when you start to see activity pick up again. If you're not sure how your home compares to others in your area or what buyers are seeing when they look at your listing, that's something we can break down pretty quickly. Every situation is a little different, but the patterns are very consistent right now. If you want to stay in tune with what's really happening in the market, just follow along here. We'll keep it simple and keep you updated.